Welcome to yet another edition of Friday Power. This is Mahesh Kadran, your spreadsheet host, welcoming you. How was the weekend? Weekend would be very good, I think, yes, because we are coming up from a long weekend of Holi, I guess. Yeah. So let's get it started. And today is a very important topic. I thought that let's focus on this because this is very, very dear to me because I have seen a lot of people were suffering the problem with this, and I could not understand. And then I saw a pattern, which I seen that yes, there are people who are facing a problem with more of the mindset rather than the formula. So why today inner mindset is matter more than formulas? Let me do a quick story and then we can start it. A few years ago, I met one of my office colleague, ex-colleague. His name was uh, Ranveer, and he was very smart, hardworking, eager to learn. Etc. So I know he was very smart and hardworking. So he used to always like he was from the sales perspective, sales background, eager to learn. But every time, no, he was very bit slow in spreadsheet. So every time he sees a complex formula, he would say that I'm not good at this. I'm just I don't want. Yeah, you do it. You do it. So he always used to pass on the work to me also, sometimes. Okay, and he used to always say that kind of. So now also he's doing the same thing because now he reached to a certain level of vice president kind of things. Okay. Now, when I met him and asked him what is the still you're facing that issue or how you are facing the flashback, he just remembered he was struggling with VLOOKUP a lot. He was making mistakes, feeling frustrated. He tried learning VLOOKUP, he watched the tutorials because after the COVID and everything, a lot of YouTube channels and came. But the moment something went wrong, he used to give. He thought the spreadsheet were too technical for him. He could not. He thought that spreadsheets are not for him. He is only good in sales, getting the people in the company. That's all he was looking at. Spreadsheet is not my this thing and everything. But here is the thing. When I was talking and were discussing a lot of our technicalities or the flashbacks and everything, the real problem was not VLOOKUP. It wasn't the formulas. It was actually his mindset about learning, which made him that problem. So when I was talking about the sales, he used to be very enlightened, lightened up, and used to share a lot of things. But when I was telling about the spreadsheet, Google Sheets or Excel, that where he was a bit low. The tonality when he was talking about was very low, and that's where I found out that yes, it was not about the formulas or about even the specific technical skill. It was actually mindset of learning. So one day, I taught him, like after that meeting, we met him again, and I told him that just let's practice him and everything. I taught him some things. Now, when I met him again last week, he told me that instead of saying this, he told himself that let me break it down, figure it out. That small shift changed everything. This was the magic message I shared with him. 2 weeks later, when he did that, he was this in using VLOOKUP. He was actually solving the real business problems with it. Can you imagine that kind of guy who was a sales guy? Now he's using VLOOKUP to such an extent that he was actually nailing it. So what has changed? It's not his intelligence, not the formulas, but his inner game. Because formulas that is there, like I always say. See, formulas you can find in Google also. You just put what is the VLOOKUP, that's all. But why you are coming back to me or coming back to any trainer or coach, that's where the matters. The inner game is more, and that's exactly today I'm diving in you in today's YouTube live, because success in spreadsheet or anything in life is 80% mindset, 20% skill set. Okay, so join me live today. I will share you how to break past your frustration, think like a pro, and finally master the Google Sheets by fixing your mindset first. Okay, now Rahul was stuck, but what was the problem? I will go deeper into that because I wanted to break it down in more simpler parts so that any layman also can understand. See, he was stuck because he was trying to prepare a report for his boss, and that report was a financial year report. So he had to sit in office and do that because most of the time he used to travel since he was a sales and marketing department, and he was trying to master VLOOKUP for weeks. But every time he used to apply, he used to get some error. So what he used to do, he used to pass on to his colleagues and everything, or he used to have a Excel guy, and he used to pass on the thing. And sometimes he used to approach me also. So he was a very dear friend to me. So I was always doing that thing. But sometimes I also busy, so he can't do it, and he can't also think. But at one of the instance, his boss was waiting for the report, and his frustration was building. Now, what was the old mindset? If you go back and realize, and if you imagine you are Ranveer, you're in place. He was a not tech guy. These formulas are too complex for me. What if I make the mistake? I will just ask the question. ask someone else to do that. These are the things which was coming to his mind, and that's the thing which subconsciously you are thinking about yourself, that I am not a technical guy, then why I need to do this. And that's where the transferring and outsourcing comes into place. Now, when he was watching this online tutorial, pushing the videos and pausing the videos and taking the notes, he asked a simple question. I told him to ask this simple question: how can you break down into smaller steps? Now, what he did, he changed his self-talk. So instead of saying that I can't do it, he said I haven't figured it out. When he came back to me after that, he told me that I haven't figured it out. But when you said, Mahesh, you said that you have to say this way. This is where actually the transformation happened. He realized that he was trying to learn VLOOKUP at one big confusing formula, but he studied each part separately. How he first understood that how the lookup values work. Then he practiced finishing the data manually using formulas. Then he tested small data sets before moving to the real reports. And then instead of afraid of making the mistakes, I always say that you make the mistakes, you make, but you accept that mistakes as well. He typed the formulas without even looking at the tutorials. Even what I shared with him also, he did not looked at it. He tried to solve the problem on his own. And that's where he nailed the nail on that hood. He decoded the whole thing. He created the dummy sales report and used the VLOOKUP to pull the data. And that's where the whole boss was very good. Within 2 weeks, something has happened to him. And he was not using the VLOOKUP, but he was solving the real problem. He even started to help his teammates with the problem. So what was the mindset shift? I might not know this, but I can figure it out. Mistakes are proof that I am learning. Now the main thing is that we are not accepting the mistake. I also sometimes makes a mistake, but I don't accept. We are all humans, right? If I break it down, I can understand. You break it down into small pieces, you can understand everything. Right? So what changed is not about the intelligence, not about the Google Sheets, or not about the Excel, not about the numbers, but the way he thought of learning. Okay, so today I will be sharing with you more about that, the inner game of becoming a Google Sheet pro. Let's start the presentation and then we can go it. Okay. So all who are ready, you can type ready in the chat box and we can just type it in. Okay, and I will go just in behind. Yeah. So why mindset matters? Like I said, Google Sheet is a tool, spreadsheet is a tool, but mastery depends upon how you think about learning it. See, many people give up because they are always believe that I am not good at formulas. Why are you not good? Does it this way that when you came out of your mother's womb, you were not good? Is that so? What we see in the movies? Huh? Right? No, right? I don't have a technical background. No, you don't need to have technical background. Now, today in this digital world, there is no as such that you have to specific skills. It's all about how you mastered that skill. That's more important. It doesn't matter that whatever skills you have, you can always master. It's too complex for me. What all things is not complex for me. Even managing a family is a complex one. How many of you agree that even managing a family is complex? Right? So this is the problem. So the real challenge is not for the formulas. If your approach to your problem solving, that matters. So why master the inner game? The strong mindset will always helps you a lot of things. Overcome frustration, keep on learning. Develop the problem solving skills rather than the memorizing the formulas. You became more efficient and client confident. Top performers will always succeed because they learn to think logically, not just use the formulas. Now, real life examples, if I say about some of the Steve Jobs, if you remember, he ignored the data analysis and market trend, and that is why he changed the approach with iPhone. How many of you believe that that time was the change of Nokia and everything was there? He did not realize that importance. And if you go back, right, recently I was watching a video of Steve Jobs. He actually he did a marketing of iPhone. Okay, but before that, what has happened in that process? He lost the whole business aspects of that iPhone, and that's where I think he was left out of the company, and then he founded the Pixar and everything, and that's where the things had happened. That's it. Elon Musk. How many of you know Elon Musk? Okay, he relied too much on the intuition data earlier rather than focus on structured data-driven decision. How many of you believe that my mind says that okay, this I will go with my yes, that's true. Some of the things you have to go, but somewhere the data speaks a lot of more than that. Okay, and small business owners always fail because they don't track finances with spreadsheet, and that's the biggest problem with the coaches also, the working professionals as well. Now, why I believe that perfection is second thing, growth is more important. I will share you another example of my client. He was a sales executive. He was struggling with VLOOKUP. Instead of quitting, he practiced daily with small data sets. I used to give him small data sets and I told him, he was also from that mindset only. I can do it, I can do it. So it was very difficult for me to focus on. But what I did is that I did a different kind of technique and I told him that you go focus on this. So I gave him some small data sets with of different same industry. He was working in the HR industry and I was giving. Within 2 weeks, he became confident in using that. What was the lesson I found out and I learned, and he also learned? He was focusing on the progress, not on the frustration. I was tracking his progress from right from day one. And for 14 days, I knew that he will be becoming confident because the changes he has been noticing, small, he might have not noticed that because he might have noticed in the 13th and the 14th day. But I have noticed over the days, the first 7 days, he was rigid, very rigid. He was not able to perform anything. But that's where the problem lies. This is a simple hack, and I think nobody have told you. What is it? LBA, learn, break, apply approach. How many of you have learned this approach? I don't think so. Nobody have. This is my perspective, and this is my approach. First, understand the purpose of the formula. Why do you need to use this formula? Can you deconstruct into simple steps? This is a break. And can you apply in the real data set? This is apply. Okay. The first two, the first and the third, always people do this. But this people don't do this. They don't break up. They only just learn and they apply. That's all. They don't break up. And that's where the problem lies because here is where your inner mindset happens. Okay, so instead of memorizing the index match, so example if I share with you, understand how each functions work separately. So what is index? So that is why when I teaching my coaching industry coaching so students, I I take around 15 minutes to explain index match. Now it shows that index match is very easy for you for our people. But what I did, I break it down in a small parts. I literally done in a very common manner. You won't believe that things. Right now, come. So, how many of you are enjoying this? If you're enjoying, type enjoy in the chat box. Let me understand how you are enjoying this. Okay. Curiosity and exploration. This is my favorite thing. I am very curious, and actually, we all should be curious. But in real world, we always don't be curious. We get serious with our life. We don't explore. We don't because we don't go to many places. We don't explore because we are not have any new things to deal with my our life. That is why we are not curious. So one of my client freelancer, but I don't normally take freelancers, but she came. She created manually invoices a day, 4 hours a day. Imagine 24 hours, 8 hours sleeping and everything, rest of the thing. You can imagine 4 hours she used to spend to create invoices. She explored the Google Sheet automation and reduced the work to 30 minutes. Now she has more time to grow in business. But what was the lesson which I got to learn and she got to learn is the curiosity. If she would not have expressed the curiosity to learn Google Sheets, she would not be a child and she would be a fresh where she would have learned. Because she was a freelancer, she knows a lot of things about Google Sheets. Okay, so people who knows everything, they will come and from a certain mindset perspective. They know that yeah, I know, I just want this and this and this things, right? How many of you agree that you all are coming from that thing? That I am also there. So there's not nothing like secret to hide, right? But what I like this particular client was that she came from that perspective, but she really lowered down. She came like a child and understood all the things what I taught to her. I was very curious, asking every question. Now also I remember for certain formula in Google Sheet or app script, which is the extension of your macros in Excel. She literally asked me around 15 questions. I could not move on another topic till the time I used to have to handle all the 15 questions. That's why this particular story, success story, was in my mind. Now, breaking down the complex formulas example. Suppose you need to check that if the employee qualifies for the bonus. Say, for example, the sales is greater than 50,000, you need to put yes or no. What if a multiple condition exists? Use and or you. If and is sales and attend is yes or no. Lesson, break the formulas into small logical steps. This is what the main thing is there. Are you breaking down the complex formulas? If not, then you're making a mistake. Now, this week challenge. We have come to the end of this challenge. You have to create a small sales report, okay, using the if, sum, if, and VLOOKUP. But this is for all those people who knows if, sum, if, and VLOOKUP. If doesn't know, you can always watch my Facebook live videos, and YouTube videos also have shared about if and sum, if, and VLOOKUP. You can go and watch it. You will automatically know what exactly is. Automate an everyday task like expenses or time tracking sheet. You can always say, share your insights in the comment next week so that I can know that you have learned the thing what you want to do. Okay, so this is how the whole thing works, and I hope the session was very useful for you. So thank you so much for joining in, and please note one thing, that no matter wherever you are there in this spreadsheet journey, you are always one step chapter ahead of those poor people, and don't compare anyone. That's the only message and food for thought I want to give it to you for this weekend. Thank you so much, and see you for the next week, for the next Friday powerful live. And please note, if you want to level up your skills, be joined to challenge spreadsheet lumber challenge, which is having in the April. Be there to join. It will be amazing thing